Hello, everyone. T.I. Dave here. By the grace of the Most High, it's been a rough month and a half, but I'm here with Wayne. Most of y'all that watch my channel have probably seen how many have I done two interviews with you or one?
This, this would be the second one.
Okay, this is the second follow-up interview from his last interview, and what I'll do is I will post his first interview in the comments if you by chance did not see it, and also there's a person who reached out to me asking. And the only reason I'm doing this is because, it may be this afternoon before Holly can answer this question for you. And I don't want to waste your time while you're trying to look for resources. Asking me to uh, find this person a place to live or try to help with resources of our friends. And at this time, we try, I've done this in the past and we've done this in the past, and it's always backfired on us. You deal with situations like, the person may ask, you get somebody that you really don't know and you hook them up with your friends, and then they go and do stuff with the friends. And then the friends come to me and be like, well, the dude or woman you introduced us to screwed me over, or, it's just, I could go into stuff, but I'm not going to name drop or nothing, but, stuff like that. And then the person might be then the person turns around, smears my name. That way nobody listens when I warn people about them. So it's just too much hassle. Like if I'd have known you for a little bit longer and know who you were, that's what, because I jumped the gun and want to help people because I've been there. And then they go and do me wrong and do other people wrong, and then it falls back on me because I'm the one that referred them. So I'm just trying to make sure that we know who we're referring to people from now on. So I hope that makes sense to you. We do have a TI classifier we are going to send to you today. But I just wanted to do that so you're not sitting around waiting, hoping, I wish it wasn't like that, but other people in the past have kind of burnt that bridge, you know, and I'm not saying you're a bad person or nothing like that, but we've just now started corresponding in the last 2 weeks. So, I just made that rule after the last person kind of burnt that bridge. But anyway, I'm rambling. So, Wayne, it's been a trip for you, I know. And I'm just probably just going to turn it over to you and ask questions as we go. How long ago
All
was
right.
it? About a year since you've done an interview?
Yeah, I think it was I think it was like September of 24, maybe, something like that.
Okay.
October.
Wow. Time flies.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
And it's running out at the same time for all of us.
Yeah, that's for sure. But yeah, like you were talking about helping people out, man. I know the situation I went through with you, and well, the person that I allowed come here, and he ended up leaving because he was so scared that I was a part of it. He reached out to me because I had something on Quora about anybody that needs help. I'm here to talk. Try to explain things to you, whatever. And I ended up letting him come here, and I was going to give him a job working with me, and he just got so paranoid, scared, like just what they were doing was they were putting that fear feeling on him, and they tried doing the same thing to me, to plot me against him and him against me. But I know what they're doing because I've been going through this for about 6 years now. He don't know that. He didn't know
Right.
that. And I introduced you to him, and then it became a big mess, and he's calling us both perps, and just got crazy and out of hand when you're trying to help somebody realize what's going on.
Right. Well, you wasn't even one of the ones I was talking about he did wrong, uh but yeah, see, and that don't mean he's not a real TI, and that don't mean he's, a fake TI. Just some people in fight or flight make bad decisions, and sometimes when you're in fight or flight, you're hyper vigilant, and anything good seems like a setup, you know? And
Yeah, man, he was definitely in flight or fight, definitely. I mean, constantly. And when you're in that type of that frame of mind, you're like hyper vigilant. You're seeing micro movements, and you're analyzing it and thinking that just because you've seen, maybe I look this way, and you think I'm looking down the hallway because somebody's back there, and several times I'm like, come on, I'll take you back here and I'll show you there's nobody back here, man.
And we've all
So
been there.
it just,
Well, a lot of us
and there's,
have.
I can't, yeah, I can't say nothing bad about it. You know what I mean? I tried helping him out. I did what I did. I'm not mad at him. You know what I mean? I understand the situation. I understand he's scared, and I understand that, I've been there myself. I thought my family was in on it, which I don't know how I ever thought that, but they reinforce those feelings
Hmm.
with, with I think subliminally, and then putting certain types of energy on you as well.
Right. And then
Yeah,
when you're in fight or flight like that, what they're wanting you to do is go screw people over out of fear and burn all your bridges. And then you're really
yeah,
isolated because you done made
yeah,
everybody mad. So that's a
exactly.
design built into it too. This is a very intricate design, you know. Once they have you in fight or flight, you're making irrational decisions out of anxiety. You should always make sure you're calm, prayed up, breathing, controlled breathing when you're making your decisions and calm down. Don't make one on the go, because then it, it's bad decisions. And then you may not have meant to hurt somebody or put them in fear or go off on them or whatever, and you just did, and you can't take that back. But
Yeah, exactly.
man,
But I'm
but
always
I've been
willing to
there,
help somebody
especially in
out.
2018. It's just you got to get it under control, or they'll make you burn all the bridges that will help you.
Yeah, exactly. I've mended some of those bridges, and especially with my family, they know what's going on. They believe me. I've showed them the proof of, what's happening and they see that other people are, saying the same thing, that it's not just me. So I do have my family behind me, which is a good thing now. I mean, and still, even though I've experienced that situation with another TI, I'm still willing to help people if I can. I'm willing
Right,
to trust anybody, give them a chance. Sometimes I
right,
might be too trustworthy. But
right. Well, see, my position's a little different because if I do that and then it turns out bad, then I've done that's I don't know. I mean, we will help, but we have to draw boundaries.
yeah, I get it. Yep, you're right. I
Because
understand that.
sometimes trying to be the savior gets you nothing but hated and smeared, and that's what been my experience on a couple people.
Exactly. Yep.
And then when you get that, you're more reluctant to. I'm not saying we won't help nobody. Like we put Deb K's thing on there, but we've known Deb K for years. I'm just saying we want to make sure the person is who they say they are before you know,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. There's a lot of people out there that are trying to do the community harm.
right. And so anyway, how's things been with you? What's going on with that spray? I forgot what it's called. That
I don't know. The girl claims that and it's pretty expensive. I mean, if you buy three of them, you get it for like 289. But if you buy them individually, they're $100. This is the first one, so I really can't say that it's even doing anything. I'm going to try. I might try another bottle, but I don't know. It's pretty expensive, and I've thrown away money on crap that doesn't work in the past. So, but she claims that this is. I think she's a targeted individual and doesn't realize it the way she explained her story.
yeah, I listened to that video. What's it called? Nuke's tracks or something? It's supposed to have a bunch of chlorophyll in it or something from different plants.
Yeah, she somehow they at the quantum level they take something like the DNA type stuff or whatever from the plant. It's highly concentrated, and taking it for 1 month is supposedly just completely renews your blood, completely cleans your blood.
And you've been doing it. Have you
So, which
noticed?
is, I can't say that I've noticed anything as of yet. Like I said, it's only one bottle. Supposedly, 3 bottles is a month's supply. You're supposed to do 4 sprays a day,
Oh,
and I've been doing it, and I still got some of the bottle left, about a quarter of it yet. So, it might take a little bit more. I might give it a try. Might buy another bottle and see, but I'll let people know, because I'm pretty heavily targeted. Not as bad as it used to be. Last year around March, I started working because I've always been a general contractor. I started working for my landlord, and which was great because that pays my rent, and gives me a place to live, which is awesome. But so they actually let me work. I mean, because they were beating me every day, man, like all day long, all night long. Sometimes I've had them put the signal on me for, put it on me and leave it on me for 4, 5, and 6 days straight. Just, beat me down with these signals, making me feel like I got the flu times 1,000.
Yeah.
So last year they allowed me to start working. I don't know why. I'd go to work, they'd screw with me a little bit at work, heat me up, make me sweat, because it's spring. It was pretty warm last spring and summer, so they would heat me up and just screw with me but allowed me to work. I mean, the way they were hitting me or prior to that, I was incapacitated. It was all I could do to get out of bed to piss, you know.
Yeah. I know how that
So
feels.
I don't know
Let me
why,
ask you
but
this.
yeah,
Did your bones ever vibrate and hurt like way, way deep in the middle of your bones? Like it felt
I've
like
never
my
had.
body this last month was running a weed eater and my bones were just in so much pain. They were vibrating all my bones. It was horrible.
No, no, I've heard about that, but I've never experienced that. I don't know. I mean, I've experienced a lot with this stuff. Don't get
Yeah.
me wrong, but I've never experienced that though. I've had them, feel something, give me a migraine to where, like I got one of those couple of these like you got, that you can pull
They
them up, put
help.
them. Yeah, they do help. They definitely do help, man. But that they would they feel like, oh my God, it feels like a spike is driven right into my brain or something, like a damn railroad spike, and then just leave it there for 12 and 15 hours at a time, like to the point where I couldn't even open my eyes and look at any light because it hurt so bad.
Right.
And I have them, uh, check this out. And I've been keeping track of this since this is what, okay, so let me just say this. So, okay, the voices that I'm hearing are claiming that they're two guys that I used to hang out with, which, at times it's very convincing, but the thing that gets me is these voices since June 16th of 2024, I have not slept more than 2 hours at a time at night. There used to be times they kept me up all night for 3 and 4 days. And then now it's pretty much they'll wake me up either every hour on the hour throughout the night or every other hour. It depends. It depends on the night. So, and every time I wake up, the voices are right there. So that tells me, okay, if they're constantly there 24 hours a day, that tells me they're not human, because they got to sleep. So I mean, I don't know
Right.
how they would pull. I don't know how they would pull that off if they were human, but it seems to me like they're not human because like I said, I have not slept, and it's weird because at times I can feel it, like I just feel like my whole body is every muscle in my body is like needing a deep sleep, like you need to be in a deep sleep to repair, and they won't allow me to get into that deep sleep. It's every hour on the hour or every 2 hours.
I know that feeling. How long have you been
Yeah,
up so far?
it's been since June 16th of 2024. It's been going on 2 years now. They've been doing this to me.
No, I'm saying I hate clearing my throat on here, but I had to. That's the bad thing about smoking. But no, what I was asking is like you've had sleep though since though, hadn't you?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I sleep, but I mean, they used to keep me up sometimes for days at a time. But since June 16th of 2024, I have not been able to sleep more than 2 hours at a time.
Wow. Wow.
So they'll wake me up every hour or every 2 hours. And if you look into that, I've done some research, and that is I mean, it directly
It
correlates with
makes you
mind
more
control.
programmable.
Yes, exactly. And they do that to these ritual abuse children. They'll wake them up every hour, throughout the night. And, they've been doing that to me for, like I said, going on 2 years now. So, and another thing they do is hit my kidneys. And I mean, hell, they can make me full bladder piss like every 15 minutes if they want to. But,
Oh yeah. Yeah,
and yeah, man, I'll tell you what, I've really gotten beat with this crap, man. They've they beat me to the point where they hit my nervous system, make it so I literally cannot piss. Like I cannot bring myself to piss. I've been to a urologist, had the camera stuck up there. he says he don't see any reason why I shouldn't be able to piss, but I've had catheters. I have I have self catheters at home where if they do that to me, I have to self cath because I can't relieve myself because of them hitting my nervous system so hard. It's like the signal doesn't get there for me to actually be able to relieve myself, which is it hasn't happened in a while, but it's crazy when it does
Yeah, in
happen.
2022, I got hit with something at the airport, and well, they tried to say, well, I did have a B12, the worst one they had ever seen, but I had a catheter on for like 41 days, and they were teaching me to self-cath because I was going to get out homeless, and then I was just able to pee again, and they couldn't explain the blockage or nothing like that. So I think these weapons definitely have something to do with it.
Oh, absolutely. It was the weapons, man. I don't have an enlarged prostate. I don't have, like, I've been checked, like I said, multiple times by the urologist. I've
And
also
they would
been,
come, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I've been recently diagnosed with peripheral neuropathy now. And, Sabrina Wallace talks about them hitting your peripheral nervous system. So I think them hitting my system so hard caused damage enough that I've had peripheral neuropathy now.
Wow. Yeah, that neuropathy can get bad too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
It
but
feels
see
like
that
hot
the nurse
water.
would come in, like I would tell her to come in like every morning. I'm like, look, can you take this catheter on? I'm gonna try to pee. And then you know how bad it is when you bladder builds up and you really gotta pee. So
Yeah.
I was so glad to see him, but so I was trying to pee like at for the first 2 weeks they left it in, but like I was trying and couldn't. So I definitely know how that feels. And then they have to come put it back in. And then you get
Yeah.
so used to it, a catheter don't even bother you no more.
Yeah. It's a little, you can't work with it though.
Oh
When they first,
no.
I lost my job when they first started doing this to me. In 2023, they first started doing that with the catheter thing. And I couldn't go to work, man, because, bending over and getting up and down and stuff that moves in and out a little bit and it causes you to get sore and stuff. So I didn't want to be at work doing that, and I ended up
Plus the
missing.
risk of infection's high too.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. You can get a urinary tract infection, but,
When did the
so
B2K start?
the V2K that started in 2020, I think it was.
Has
20,
it
yeah.
become more persistent?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Lately, it's been for about the last week, they've been coming at me pretty hard. Usually, it's only the voice of the one guy that I hear, but now for about the last week, it's the voice of the both of them, and just constantly coming at me day and night, man. Like I said, waking me up every time they wake me up, they're talking. And then just all day long while I'm at work talking, they're trying to plot guys against me at work. The guys that work with me make me think that they're a part of it, and then they'll put this feeling on me, and it just makes me uncomfortable. And then they make it sound like they're whispering under their breath or something, which I know they're not. I know what this shit does, and that's the thing. Having the experience helps because otherwise you're going to be like, yo, this fucker's sorry about that, but this guy's plotting against me, and I ain't gonna have no parts of that or whatever. But yeah, so I mean, just trying to get to work every day, even putting up with, even if they're not hitting me with the weaponry, even if they're just talking, it makes it hard to get through the day.
Oh yeah.
But I'm capable of doing it, thank God. I've since then started my own business. I've been, I've had a business before in the past, but so I pretty much it's a handyman business where I pretty much do whatever. I was able to get insurance and all that, and right now I'm able to go to work every day. Thank God. Maybe that'll change. I don't know, but for now I'm able to work, so I'm grateful for that. Because for me, work is therapeutic and gives me something to do.
Yeah. And then when I interviewed you last time, I remember you couldn't work, right? You were having
No,
problems. Yeah.
yeah, I was getting
And you
beat
know
pretty
what? I
hard.
wonder if they're increasing this is just a theory. Like I wonder if they're increasing the B2K because you've been trying to better your relationship with the Lord Most High, so
Yeah,
they put all that pressure on you to make you uh you know act out of spirit and forget about God and all that. Because I think
yeah.
there's a spiritual aspect to this, definitely.
Oh, there absolutely is, man. reading the Bible, and they'll be like putting in my head, oh, that's bullshit, or you know, fuck, I don't even want to say it, but just saying things like crazy shit like that, and me thinking about that the Epstein crap that's going on and the things that happen with the young ones, thinking about that, and then having this thing talk crazy stuff about that, like I feel that, for what happened to those people. And I really don't want to go any further into saying it. People know what I'm talking about, but
Right.
that's just a sad situation,
I want to
But
play something that this went on in Virginia. It's real quick. Let me see if I'm not sure if it's going. It's about 6G. It's a 6G experiment they did. Listen to this.
all right.
DARPA and ATIS ran. 6G is coming in 2030. That's the public launch. But testing began years ago in controlled zones across Virginia, Osaka, and EU smart grids. And here's what they won't tell you. 6G doesn't connect your phone. It connects you. In 2023, DARPA and ATIS ran a closed pilot across federal buildings in Northern Virginia. The tech? 6G presence nodes, powered by terahertz bands that don't just transfer data, they mirror you. Each user's gait, tone, even heart rhythm became part of the signal loop. The system adjusted light, sound, even push notifications. You know what I forgot?
What's
Hold on
that?
1 second. Because for some reason when I play a phone, me and you can hear this, but it won't be on the recording. So I'm
Oh,
just gonna
really?
share. Yeah, I'm gonna share the screen real quick and do it because
All right.
it's
Well,
yeah. I've noticed that like the phone, it won't pick up external noises, so you have to actually do it. So I'm right here at it anyway. So very interesting stuff. So they've done tested it out in Virginia already. This 6G stuff. All right, here we go. And just gonna share it. If the Okay. Uh, I'm sorry, I just find this very important for people to know about.
I know exactly what you're saying, and you're right. People should know about it. Might clarify some things.
Yeah. 6G is coming in 2030. That's the public launch. But testing began years ago in controlled zones across Virginia, Osaka, and EU smart grids. And here's what they won't tell you. 6G doesn't connect your phone. It connects you. In 2023, DARPA and ATIS ran a closed pilot across federal buildings in Northern Virginia. The tech? 6G presence nodes, powered by terahertz bands that don't just transfer data, they mirror you. Each user's gait, tone, even heart rhythm became part of the signal loop. The system adjusted light, sound, even push notifications based on real-time biometric drift. It's called adaptive ambience, and it's not theory. In the Arlington test zone, over 200 participants unknowingly entered what the internal logs labeled a behavioral sync cluster. Result? 68% changed walking pace within 90 seconds. 52% began mirroring posture. Average voice pitch dropped 12 hertz across the zone without prompt or audio cue. This isn't cellular, it's presence modulation, backed by Samsung's 6G white paper, verified in HexaX testbeds, and buried in Appendix 9 of the Defense Communications Futures Report, blackbarred until last quarter. You were never the user. You are the interface. Want out? Disrupt the loop, delay touch input, break rhythm, avoid high band hotspots during emotional peaks. Because with 6G, you're not browsing. You're being tuned. Tuesday accessed the relay logs. They weren't encrypted because they assumed no one would read drift code but them. Now you have. Huh.
Wow.
Scary
Yeah,
stuff, man.
that is,
But
man.
I
And
don't like, I just, I don't, and the person who finds out how to disconnect us from this stuff and get the stuff out of your body, because there will be somebody. I mean, I'm sure that they're gonna, and I hope they don't betray the people that's been hooked up to this stuff and make it so unaffordable. But there'll be somebody, and that person will need to be protected heavily.
did I
I
send
mean,
you
there's
that link?
there's got to be somebody that's going to figure out how to break this and disconnect people, you know?
Well, did I send you that list of what's being sprayed? Did I send you that?
Uh,
Because that would be something good to share with people.
Let me see.
If not, I'll have to send it to you. But a doctor, tested the snow in four, or a scientist, whatever, in four different states: Texas, Arizona, North Carolina, and one other one I forget. But so he listed the what's being sprayed in the sky, and mRNA technology is one of them. So that puts that tech inside people that allows them to be under your skin. The very last one on there was called ergot, which is a type of hallucinogen. And if you know anything about MK Ultra, they used LSD quite a bit, doing that because I think it allows them to tap in better or whatever. But so they're spraying that in the sky: cadmium, arsenic, aluminum, silver nitrate, viral infectious agents, radioactive. I don't know. The list goes on. I'll send you the list. The list that I got is from the test that he did in Texas, and it's
Oh yeah,
parts
that's
per.
why they're not studying the you know what no more and who took it and who didn't because everybody's
Yeah, they're spraying it. It's six. It was
yeah
62 parts per million. 62 parts per million of the mRNA technology being sprayed in Texas.
yeah yep
So that's in everybody, whether you took the shot or not. It's in everybody.
yep
And another thing, like I'll do a Bluetooth scan. I'll put my. I don't know if you know how to put your phone in like developer mode. You can get
yeah I
in your.
know the build yeah
So you go there and you tell your Bluetooth, make it so that when you scan for Bluetooth, it'll tell you the numbers of the Bluetooth. And I got in there and picked up these numbers because these names were coming up like PRBTE and then TY. And I'm like, what the hell? I don't have nothing in my house like that. And I ended up getting the name or the numbers for it and looked those numbers up, and it's coming to a military base in Maryland.
wow
So I don't know if that's
I'm convinced everybody is uh polluted with this stuff and you got to keep the metals out of your body. I mean that's the only thing I know to do and then you know the stun gun EMP but that's hard for me to do because my cats are terrified of it.
That actually is a good thing I need to do because that a pulsed EMF is the best way to disable that technology is what I'm hearing. And
Yeah,
that's what
well, I think it needs to be a little
that
stronger than a stun gun, and
yeah.
uh I haven't talked to Onion Head Andrew in a minute. You know, maybe I'll call him one day because yeah, you know how stuff goes. But anyway, it was working, but my cats get terrified, and
Yeah, makes a lot of noise.
oh, they get scared, they get terrified. Uh,
Yeah, I should
so.
put one together. I
But
can't I can't
I know people, they still figure out how to get the stuff in your environment. So you got to do a bunch of stuff like the heavy metal stuff, like garlic, cilantro, whatever way you may want to do it.
Well,
Um,
that's what this is supposed to do. It's supposed to remove the heavy metals from your blood and completely clean your blood, like renew it, So
I'd
I
be
don't know.
interested. You can order. I think you can get tested for metal. I would be man. I'd be tempted to, tell my doctor to test me for what metals I got in my body, and then do that for a
Yeah,
month, and then go back
everybody's got heavy metals, but yeah, you're right. That would be a good thing to do with this. And
just to see
I
the
don't
real
know.
results.
Yeah, I'm hoping it works. I'm gonna buy another bottle and see what happens, but I'm not gonna keep spending anything if I don't notice a change.
Do they ever play games with you at your house? Like, when me and my handler, they would knock on the window at night sometimes, or make noises outside the house, and you knew it was them, or crawl up underneath the log because we were living in a double wide at the time. And they crawl up in there and knock on the floor. Do they ever do any of that with you?
Yeah, man. I've heard them. I don't believe there's actually any there, but I've had them knocking on. I live in a mobile home, and I've had them knocking on the side. Like, okay, so I'm back in my bedroom. I hear it sounds like they're out in my living room knocking. So I come running out and open up the front door, and then all of a sudden I'm here on the back of the other end, back in the bedroom where I was. So they're just playing games with me, and then I go back in the
Yeah.
bedroom and I'm laying back down, and I'm hearing this knocking sound, and I just start laughing because I know what it's coming. I've had them put like make a radio station, just a radio station playing, and it sounds like it's coming out of nowhere, like just like out of midair. It's just coming out like there's a speaker a couple of feet away from me, very faint radio, but you can hear commercials and everything. I've had them do that to
Wow.
me. Um, I sit here sometimes. I sat in my house sometimes and I see shadows moving. Like like there's something in here moving around inside my house, like these shadows. Whether they're
Yeah.
making me see that or if it's somehow in the metaverse type thing or something, I don't know. I don't know what the hell they're doing. All I know is it's some pretty advanced tech. I mean, look what they did in Venezuela. They said that
The
their
discombobulator.
soldiers. I've seen videos of them saying that. Yeah, they said they took out their radar systems. They made them all have bloody noses and they're throwing up and whatever, and they couldn't even fight. They said like 20 U.S. soldiers took out 200, and none of them got hurt. So and they're saying they wouldn't mess with the United States. They got a technology so
It's been a
advanced,
month
blah,
since
whatever.
U.S.
But
forces captured Nicolas
yes,
Maduro
Hold
right
on.
out of his Venezuelan compound.
I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Okay.
can you share it to the screen?
Yeah, because I want people to hear about what you're talking about. And okay. And I
Yeah,
mean, a
and
lot of
Bright,
y'all might have heard it, but some people's, stuff is so messed up they can't search stuff like this or might not have seen it. This is all right. All right. Oh, this is Trump talking about the weapon, and we know it all too well because, especially us TIs, because more than likely it's been tested out on us too. Because I remember I experienced something like this when I first got hit. I mean, I couldn't even. The first 2 months I needed glasses, and I don't know why that the need for glasses went away after 2 months. But man, they fried me, literally fried
yeah,
me so bad that they made it where if I stepped in the grass, it would get worse. If I stepped on the sidewalk, it would get even worse. But when I walked in the street, it would stop. So they were making me walk in the street and cars were coming right. But I was doing that to
yeah.
get relief. And oh man, that was in 2015 when this first started in Jade Helm. All right, here we go.
It's been a month since U.S. forces captured Nicolas Maduro right out of his Venezuelan compound and sent him to Brooklyn to serve out his life as a barista in Bushwick. And
Oh,
if you're wondering how a military run by these two geniuses were able to pull.
well, I think this making fun. Let's see if we can see if they got the actual interview. Well, I pulled up the wrong one. That's what I get for being in a hurry. All right. I'll just go to a Telegram and find it because I know it. Let's see. But he's talking about I can't. He says I can't tell you much about this weapon because it's top secret. But just put it this way: they were discombobulated. Um, I mean, and so at this point, if anybody has, everybody's like, "Oh, uh, uh, what makes you so important to be targeted? Why would they even waste the time on you?" Well, all these weapons that he's talking about using and going in there and doing it, who you think they got tested on? They got to test it on somebody. But I will tell you though, it makes sense. If you are getting weapons tested on you and you've been through this, you know, just know if I was making up weapons and stuff, I wouldn't want weak-minded people to test my mind control stuff on. I would choose the strongest minded people to go against these weapons.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Well, I can't find it. But anyway, you can Google or try Trump talking about discombobulator, and he's talking about how the weapon went in there and it It not only discombobulated, it discombobulated the whole military base. And he said the Venezuelan army is very trained, but we discombobulated them all and got in and out quick. And he's talking
Yeah.
about people too, not just electronics. And so
Well, that's
this
why.
weaponry got advanced from being, we
That's
were the
why.
beta test for all this
If you
over
seen
the
them
years.
when they had Maduro and they was getting him out of the plane or whatever, you could see the whole front of his shirt was covered in blood because he had a bloody nose. All the soldiers were talking about they had bloody noses, throwing up, and they're on the ground. They couldn't even fight. But I mean, if they wanted to take us out with this technology, they would take us out, man. I know that I've heard that, I've seen in my research that, I don't know if you've ever seen when the people twitch and they go like this and look up kind of and they're turning a circle and then drop over dead. That's
Yeah,
them
I've seen
frying
that
them.
on the cameras. Yeah.
They're frying them from the inside out, hitting their vagus nerve is what it is. That's what's happening. That's what through my research from what I see. And I don't know if you follow Brandon Iglesias or not on Substack, but he talks about like he has a PEMF generator, and of course he's got the money for it, but we don't, but he gets in that a lot and shows a lot of things that he's getting out of his body by being in that field, that PEMF field, which is a pulsed electromagnetic frequency,
And
which comes
also,
from the thing you got.
yeah, also, man, what was I going to say about the stuff in your body? Oh, so they've been, that Jack Cruz neurosurgeon said that before they were really spraying all that, well, they've been spraying it for a while, but they were also doing it through preservatives in food. So you got to watch, you can't eat a bunch of processed junk food and think that you're going to have a good day because the way I understand it, that helps the weaponry too. And now they got optogenetics with light, so LEDs are horrible to have in your house. And here's one more. Well, that's just a personal belief of mine, but and this is for the males. Um, and just it's important not to go around releasing your seed. And I know some people have probably researched this. It's called semen retention and the effect it has on you spiritually, and what happens when you release it without, the wrong way. You know what I'm talking about? You have to.
Yeah,
I'll send you a video on what I'm talking about. You stay stronger spiritually, and you can disagree me. People can disagree if they want. But
no,
I
no,
think
you're
it's
right.
got a big thing to do with your spiritual strength and hearing from God and all that, you know?
You're right. And I don't know if you've ever had this happen, but they can arouse you sexually and make
And
a
make,
man.
yeah, I've never had that happen though, but I've heard people, yeah.
Yeah,
And
they've
I
done
think
it.
the reason they do that, because all these sites and stuff is just for people to go ahead and waste their energy. Because if men would learn I'm going to send you a video on it, and you'll see what I'm talking. If men would learn how to, uh, you know, stay close to the Most High and just not and fight them urges, that and they harvest energy when you do that. Now, that's my belief, and that's what I've studied.
Oh man, I
When
believe you too. I believe you. That's how I feel about it myself. And I try to every day repent for the things
That's
that I
got to be
do.
horrible when they force you to. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
they
never
definitely.
experienced that. Now they have hit my left testicle pretty hard on a couple occasions, nonstop, like shocking it, and it's the worst feeling. But
No, man. I've had them actually. I mean, it actually feels like somebody was doing something to me, like
right,
a
wow.
sec. Yeah,
And they
it's
want to
just.
do that to keep you weak. But I don't think God would hold that against you. But I do think physically and stuff, it weakens you physically and spiritually. But I don't think them doing it. I just think God the Most High might recompense you for that. And I know a lot of people have given up on the Most High because they haven't had no. They think there's no results and this stuff wouldn't be happening and all that. And I've been where you're at, and I've just seen too much stuff, you know, uh, go on that convinced me that the Most High was real. Looking back on experiences. So,
Man, I
and I
believe
hope,
100%. It's
huh?
he's the Most High is definitely real, man. I mean, you can see if you want to look for it, you'll find it, and you'll know. I mean, you'll know without a doubt that in my belief, this is my belief that we are in the end times. Prophecy is being fulfilled right before our eyes. Uh, just as it was in the days of Noah, so too shall it be in the days of the coming of the Son of Man. With, back then all flesh was corrupt. Well, what's happening now with this mRNA technology? All flesh is corrupt. They're spraying it in the sky.
Yep.
You know, so and many other things, that are happening. Uh, and I try my best to do. I got to repent on a daily basis.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
definitely not perfect. I'm a sinner, man, and I sin every day, even if
Yep.
it's in the smallest way by having bad thoughts or, I struggled with a guy, him and I had a little argument, and I struggled with that for a month, man. Every day I went to work, I wanted to punch him in his face, and I'm just like, every day I had to come home and repent for that. And after about a month, it went away. I didn't want to do it anymore, and now him and I are cool, we just, I,
Yes, and because if you are a believer and following that path, you know, unforgiveness will hold us back. So we got to make sure we can forgive. I had there was two people, me and Holly, when we were in prayer last night, that we went ahead and prayed and prayed for and forgive, and Holly even forgive somebody that she hadn't forgave in years because this preacher came in the other day. Um, uh, like a not a preacher of a big church, but like a little congregation. He was healed of lung, the C word, which I don't know why they won't let me say it on my channel, but lung, C word. And he was coming in giving his testimony and stuff. And she had told her, she had told him about something, and he was like, "Well, do you have somebody you hadn't forgiven?" Because forgiveness frees us up, because
yeah,
unforgiveness is a stronghold too. You got to forgive to be forgiven.
exactly, man. If you don't forgive, you're not going to be forgiven. Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, she told me he got healed. He got cured. He was in stage 5, and the Lord healed him. Mad, and I don't know the whole. I can't repeat it because my memory's bad. But the message was for her out of all the people. Look at the kitty cat. Is that a
There's
kitty cat?
my little-
Oh, look at the kitty.
Yeah, that's my little
They're
baby.
very therapeutic
That's
too.
my buddy. Yeah.
I noticed when I was down and out this last month and
I
a
can go to
half.
work and
Oh, they're glitching us.
well, what'd you say?
I said I noticed this past month and a half when I was in bed a lot. My cat will come just lay down with me and comfort me and purr on me. And they say when they purr on you, it's got healing frequencies. Oh yeah, another thing I want to touch on is, and people can think I'm crazy, but 100% organic cotton is hard to find, and I know that, but I was wearing 100% polyester. I was trying anything whenever whatever was going on. I'm convinced it was weapon-induced pneumonia. Maybe it wasn't, but I didn't have no cough. I didn't have no fever. I didn't have no sinus problems. It started as a thunderclap headache in the right side, and then it disabled me. And I'm high strung, so if I'm in bed all day, there's something wrong. But anyway, so if you look in the Bible, even in Leviticus, it talks about mixing fabrics. So I got
Yep.
these 100% cotton pants that I wanted for Christmas, um, and when I took them all that polyester off when I was sick, and I put the 100% cotton on, maybe it was in my head, but I swear I started feeling a little bit better. I mean, it wasn't much of a change, but they say the polyester and all that is the frequency's a death frequency, same frequency as death. And in
Yeah.
Leviticus, he talks about don't mix fabrics when you're
Yeah.
soaking
Now
your
you're right
clothes.
on that. Do you know who Trey Smith is?
Uh-uh.
Uh, okay, Trey Smith is on YouTube. Check out his channel, but he has a video on that. Like, and this is biblical. Wool, 100% wool and linen. They used it back, 2,000 years ago, and it shows like he'll have his arm out like this. He has this mixture of wool and linen that he'll put in like this, and like really push down on the arm, and they can't do it. As soon as they pull that away from the body, the arm he can push the arm right down. But it's like back in those times, they had wool surrounding like where they had their tents set up and then they had linen inside. Don't combine the wool and linen, but to have wool here, linen here, and then those frequencies that it's putting off, it's good for your body. It does something. But check that out. It's real interesting. Trey Smith on YouTube.
Right. Well, I can tell a difference when I put the polyester pants on, believe it or not. People can think I'm crazy, but I'm telling you.
You're not, man. I know exactly what you're talking about, but look into the wool and the linen, 100% linen. Look into that. You don't combine them, but to have them both in separate areas because they resonate at a certain frequency. I got a wool blanket, 100% wool blanket, brought it home, took it out of the pack, and my cat went crazy. She was beating that thing and hissing at it, because it's wool. She smelled the animal apparently in it or something. I
Right.
don't know. It took her a minute to get used to it, but yeah, I know what you're talking about on that. It does have healing frequencies, and I'm actually going to try getting some linen. I have wool up at a window right now because I have like the whole one end of my mobile home is just windows, and mobile homes are cold in the wintertime, especially lately.
Yeah.
So I put a wool blanket up at that window, and I want to get some linen. I don't have like anything that's 100% linen, but maybe put that on the opposite wall or something, and that's
Yeah.
what they're
Or
saying. Like,
organic cotton, 100%. It's hard to find
that,
that stuff, but uh,
yep, yep. Right.
and so what are some things that you've been doing that's helped you over this since your last interview? Like, what would you tell some viewers that's helped you, or practices that you do that helps?
Well, I mean, for one thing, if you're able to work, go to work because work is therapeutic. Uh, you know, I mean, I completely understand if you're being hit so hard that you're incapacitated, you cannot work. But and also talking about it, trying to make your family understand what you're going through, like that really helped me realizing, like showing them the actual, all right, well, I'm not the only one saying this. Here's some of the proof of how they're doing it, and I mean, if you sit down, not all erratically crazy, yelling, whatever, you can convince somebody of what's going on. The proof's there. So I don't know, and just kind of stay busy if you can. I guess. I know by the end of the day, I'm exhausted, man. So I usually come home and just maybe get a shower, sit and watch TV. I mean, that's pretty much my day. I'm a pretty boring person anymore, but I don't party or anything anymore. I try to stay away from that.
Yeah,
But
staying busy around here really helps me. And then especially I moved up to I got dumbbells and try to do weights and stuff and exercise daily, even when I'm not feeling it. Now I was so bad this last 35 days I couldn't even do that, but it definitely helps staying busy.
yeah, I knew when you were down like that, saying you were sick that long. That's why I texted you, and I knew they were hitting you because they'd done the same thing to me. It made you feel like you have this very intense flu. And they can do it with frequencies. They can do it pretty much any. They can get rid of C. They can get rid of C with frequencies, or they can cause you to have it. They're talking about delivering medicine through the air. You're not actual medicine, but a cure
Yep.
for whatever ailment you have through frequencies. They can do that, but you think they're going to use that for good? No, they're not going to use it for good. They're gonna use it for evil, or they're going to use it to make copious amounts of money as much as they can out of the stuff.
And the scary thing is Elon Musk was talking about that eventually it's going to be a universal basic income.
Yeah. Yep.
That means the
Yep.
jobs but some jobs I don't think AI can replace every job.
I don't
Like
think. Yeah. No.
certain plumbing jobs or something like maybe they will have a robot that can get under the house with a sawzall and cut a pipe and solder and all
I
that.
don't
I
know
don't
about that.
know.
Maybe. Maybe. I
But
don't
I
know.
mean, there was a Twilight Zone episode my dad used to say it's going to be here one day and they had this librarian and they tell him he's obsolete and they kill him because the
Yeah.
robots have done took over. You're obsolete. You're obsolete.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's coming. I mean, what are they
I
going to do
do.
with us? And
I
I
do
think that's
too.
why this weapon system is getting in place because you can't just go door to door, martial law, pull people out and take them and just do away with them. You just do it in their house silently, slowly.
Yeah, and another thing, like you were saying about what can you do to help? I mean, I don't know if for me, man, like being in the Bible, reading and knowing what's going on, knowing the Word, and just for that works for me, man. Having a relationship with Jesus Christ, it works for me. It gives me hope. These weapons used to scare me. When they would make my heart beat out of my chest and I'm feeling like I'm going to have a heart attack or whatever. I used to be afraid, but now for me, because I'm comfortable with my position as far as like the Bible goes, it doesn't matter if that happens, because I know I have a place in the afterlife, and
Right.
it's not going to be a place I don't want to be,
Yep.
So that kind of helps. That kind of
And
helps too.
like he said, if you are a believer and stuff, and uh, Satan's job is to convince you don't have access. So don't never feel so guilty about mistakes you've made that you're too scared to pray and call out to him, because that ain't nothing but Satan. If you know who you are in Christ, you have access and you can be forgiven and tap into but you got to learn who you are in Christ. Once you learning who you are in Christ is a big part, like joint hires in Christ, Romans 8:17, that's a big
Yeah,
deal. A
yeah. And
joint
if you
hire
don't,
with yeah.
I
Um,
know, I know I have the Holy Spirit because it convicts me all the time. When I do
right,
something I know I shouldn't do, uh, I get convicted for it,
right,
So, I mean, for me, I look at it this way. Even though this stuff has beaten the crap out of me and has ruined my life in a lot of ways, it's led me to have a better relationship with the Most High. So I look at that as a blessing, man. And mental is a big part of this. It'll get us down to the point where I've been there, man. I wanted to off myself and you know you don't want to be in that state of mind. It's not a good place to be, so basically if anybody is in that state of mind, reach out, man. Reach out to anybody. Like, I'm always willing to talk to anybody, be anybody's friend, as long as you're a true TI and you're not trying to be, do some crazy stuff.
right.
I'll talk to anybody, I'll try to help anybody, so
And that and God has got so many of its TIs to the point where, you know, you ain't got nobody, and then you reach out to him, and he's your friend, and then you see, hey, wow, my friend's providing just what I need. May not be what I want, but I get just what I need. I mean, I was homeless on the streets, the whole world against me, it seemed like, and I had nobody you know, to be friends with, and I became friends. So it's like sometimes it's like he does it intentionally. Well,
yep.
not does it intentionally, but he allows it to happen that way.
Oh, hey, I'm not getting rich, but I'm making enough to live. I'm not on the streets, and I'm very grateful for that.
And then when you rely on nothing but him, then you can see his power and see that he's real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he will only give you so many chances, man. If you keep doing the same thing over and over again, he's going to eventually hand you over to a reprobate mind. So, you know, I struggle with that sometimes.
right. Yeah. And send you a delusion.
Yes, a strong delusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I still get beat from time to time. Lately, it's been pretty much been the voices, but it has been some weaponry on top of it. But I have episodes where maybe for 5 days they'll be screaming and whatever. But it's like I'm so used to going through it, and it's like I'm in that frame of mind. When I start doing it, I just put myself in that frame of mind that, all right, I'm gonna go through this and it's gonna end. It's gonna eventually end,
Yeah.
and then move on from there. I try not to hold on to it. I know I do have a lot of feelings inside that I still need to talk about, because this stuff does cause people to have PSTD. Mentally, it'll screw you. You've got to talk about it. You got to try to get that out, because this stuff tears at your soul, man.
Right. And
It's
some
just like a
people,
satanic.
right. And some people, they don't even have to use weapons on because the psychological operations in the first put them in such big fight or flight, they destroy themselves with their decisions. Would you agree with
Exactly.
that?
I have a friend. I definitely agree with that. Yep. Yep. I have a friend that pretty much they just they hit him with just the talking all the time, but that's enough to make it so you can't even get through your day. So
Yep.
that's pretty effective for them as well. Just the talking.
What I find helps with V2K though is I can put handpan music on or you know, just louder, a little bit louder than what's going on and find a project to do around here while the music's up. Just louder than the V2K in my head
Yeah.
or control breathing.
Yeah. Another thing I do is read. I'll read the Bible. I'll read it out
Yep.
loud.
Out loud. Yeah.
Yeah. And that shuts it up. Yeah, of course, if I pause for a second, it's going to make a comment like whatever, a negative comment. But I just try to keep reading and try to ignore it. But sometimes I give in and I want to get pissy with the voices and you know even after all this time, I know better. I should be shutting up and not saying a word. But sometimes it's hard not to. But
Yeah.
it's like talking to your car, man. You got to look at it that way.
Do they ever like try to make stuff say stuff that lines up and is true just to bait you into believing? Have they ever done that with you?
Yeah, yeah, you'll get some truth, but it's mostly false.
Right.
But yeah, they'll try to pull you in with a little bit of truth. But
Do you
I
get mobbed when you go out ever? Like, do you still get the serious like stalking or street theater or anything like that anymore?
no, no, I never really got a whole lot of that. I did experience some of it, but no, I don't experience that anymore. It's just the voices and the weapons. And them trying to plot me against another person or something through, you know, like they did with the TI that I had to let move in with me, that situation. But yeah, they'll do that kind of thing.
Yeah. And so, and when I look back on my experience in 2018, well, there was two of them I know for a fact were perks from the start, but you know, uh, I definitely can see how they can the mind control in the fight or flight can make you think somebody that's really trying to help you is the enemy. I mean,
Yeah.
and you can't convince them otherwise. I've been that person. You couldn't convince me otherwise. And I'm sure I pushed away people that were trying to help because I was so freaked out in 2018. Um, pushed them away. But in my mind, you couldn't convince me different, and I was going on my gut, and I'm gone.
Well, that's
So
the
we've all
thing.
been there.
When you're in that fight or flight, like I said, you're hyper aware, and that's why you'll start to think like when your family isn't seeing the same things you're seeing or whatever, or anybody, you'll start to think that they're a part of it, and you're looking at them like, well, why are you not responding? Why a certain way or whatever? But it's what this
Well,
does,
some
man.
cases the family is involved, like I'm not gonna mention the certain family member it is, but they were very close to me, and uh, they buttered me up and got me to come stay with them. And then what they would do is I had to leave the house when they left the house, and I didn't know that was going to be a rule. I would have never went there. Well, the person was taking me to Walmart and knowing I don't like Walmart and was freaked out, like they knew about my targeting. So they would take me to Walmart and say, "Oh, I got to get a necklace or something," and and then they would stand there for like an hour in Walmart just looking at clothes and not getting nothing and say, "Come on," while I'm freaking out in Walmart, seeing stalkers everywhere getting mobbed. And then they would take me to the swimming pool in the apartment complex. And I'm not interested in swimming because I was getting mobbed every time this would happen. And sit out there and swim, take their time, make me sit out in the hot sun. But the Walmart thing over and over and over and over. And, luckily I had a recording showing this person blackmailing me if I didn't get money from my dad. And so the last incident, what they did was they took me to Walmart again. They knew Walmart was a trigger for me, you know? So why would you do
Yeah,
that? It'd be different if you was actually buying stuff. But
yeah,
so so listen what
they
they did. They went into Walmart, stood there, and even my the person that was with this person was standing there like, what the hell is going on? I don't understand, and I don't think that person had anything to do with it. But so then the person where they say, well, we're going to Walmart, and so we're sitting there standing outside waiting, and this person's in the bathroom for like 45 minutes, comes out, goes to the car, and then says, well, we're not going nowhere. Tells the person that's driving, we're not going nowhere. Um, we're waiting on the police. So I already knew what time it was because I did not get the money from my dad that this person wanted me to get. And I had it on video camera where they were saying, well, if you don't get the money, I'm going to have you committed. So that's what this person tried to do. And I had to show the
well,
police the video, and the police took my side, but then I couldn't go back and I was under a bridge. And that's when I started my channel. I'm just saying,
yeah,
like, sometimes they are involved, but a lot of times they're not. You know, certain situations differ, I guess, you know?
yeah, it does. I mean, but this stuff is very deceptive, man, and it's very evil.
Right.
So, well, hey, I gotta get to work.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, thanks for coming on and catching up. I hope somebody got something out of this conversation.
yeah, I
Um,
hope so. And I'm
yeah.
always here, man, to help anybody ever want to talk, need a friend, whatever. I'm here.
And
Just
don't you have a YouTube channel?
I do, but I haven't done anything on that for quite some time. So,
Oh, okay.
you know, like I said, I'm willing. Anybody can get a hold of me through you or whatever. I'd have it rather have it be that way if that's okay.
All right.
Maybe
Yeah.
email me or whatever. But I'm willing to help anybody, man, or talk.
Okay. I'm
And
gonna stop recording
I'd
right
be
now
willing
so
to
we can.
let other people know as well too. Because I can learn from other people as well. So, but
Right.
okay, sounds
Let me see.
good.
I'm gonna stop.